episode 20, not quite. It's episode 19. And I guess you could say that some things are going pretty well for us. We've had
I would love to hear what those are.
So many sponsors, so many new listeners. Actually, since I've been posting on TikTok, we've gotten a few new listeners. Welcome, new listeners. If you're new to the pod, I am responsible for posting the episodes. So last week's being late, that was on me. I apologize for that.
We forgive you and we love you.
We forgive you and, we forgive me.
Yeah.
Yes. The thing about me is I'm a busy, busy girl. And recently I went from working 25 hours a week to 30. This jump of labor has taken a lot away from me mentally. And I'm just like protecting my peace.
How do you do anything with working 30 hours a week?
Honestly, scientists still don't even know how I managed to
How
get
many
it all
hours
done.
are there even in a week? That seems like there wouldn't be any left.
Can we do the math of how many hours are there in a week?
24 hours a day.
Times 7. Wait. 7 times 2 is 140. 7 times 4 is 28. So 168 hours in a week. Right?
No, it's
Can you
gotta be
fact
more
check
than
that? 168. I'm sticking with it.
You're right.
Thanks. I'm actually a math whiz. I
Good
don't know
job.
if you guys knew that about me. So if there's 168 hours, wait, keep that open. And I'm sleeping, 8 times 7 is 56 minus 56. And then I'm working 30 hours. That leaves us with 82 hours. Wait, okay, but then I'm working out, obviously, 8 hours a week.
Really?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
8 hours.
That's
Okay.
a lot. 74 hours
And then you
left.
have, like, picking out outfits. That's got to take up at least
16.
16 hours of the week.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have cleaning the house. Probably 8 hours at least. Where are we
That
at?
only leaves you 50 hours.
Wait, no, I wasn't finished. You have tying your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably, if I tie my shoes, like 2 hours a week. And then I play with my dog 30 hours a week.
You still have 30 hours left.
And then the podcast takes about 40.
Really?
So if I do that, then I'm at negative 12 hours a week.
Damn.
So that's why if an episode is late, I hope you guys like have that grace for me and understanding that I can barely make it work with the time I freaking already have.
There are literally not enough hours in the week. She's in
Literally,
negative
we
12.
just busted it.
Mythbusters.
Been there, done that.
Wow.
Anyways, that was a journey. Thanks for coming to that with me. Sorry, on the last episode, I was snarfing so much. Like the whole episode, I just snarf. It was so gross. I couldn't even
totally
listen to myself.
It's totally fine if you do that. You might just want to pull away from the mic for a sec.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no one's judging at all.
Maybe.
No one minds it. People probably like it a little bit.
Team Snarfing 2024.
All aboard.
All aboard the snarf
Choo-choo.
train.
I'm
Tessa,
jumping on.
We're jumping in to the episode.
Anchoevies in the sea, just a podcast with you and me. All our minnows is having fun, splashing around under the sun. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah,
Welcome back to the
Welcome
Anchoevies
back.
podcast. Tessa, how was your week this week?
My week this week was the week. It was pretty good. I've
And
been
then
in
what
my
happened?
Okay, I've been in my Pilates era. I've already talked about this. It just
Yeah.
feels like being a vegan. I have to talk about
Is
it.
it going strong?
Yeah, I did.
You haven't faltered?
No. I am so determined to get my cost per class down because it's just expensive that I did Monday night and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I did 4 days in a row.
That's savage. Were you so sore you could
I'm super
not
sore.
even move?
And just trying to get to work on time and do everything. One of the days I had to be at work at 7 for a meeting and my class was from 6 to 6:50.
That's
I
really
refused
risky.
to cancel because I would have had to pay. Anyway,
Damn.
so that has been a lot of my week. I did the Super Bowl. I did it.
You did it. Good job.
I got it done. I went to my family's abode, and I made potato skins. And
as in a true American fashion.
Yeah, my mom made a big old batch of chili and all the fixins.
I wish I could have come.
Yeah, I wish you were invited.
Yeah, me too. It's okay.
My dad kept muting the commercials.
What?
Because it's just something he's always done. Like, we've never, ever had the commercials unmuted because he just can't stand them. So he's just
even on Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, I don't even think
it's like the one day that you're like, oh, I want to hear these.
I know. I don't think he realized what he was doing because I swear in his normal day-to-day when he's watching TV, he just has that thing locked and loaded like it's a draw.
Muscle memory.
And he's just hovering that mute button. It's probably all worn. You probably can't even see the word mute on it. He's just ready to mute and unmute. And then at the Super Bowl, I look up and realize, oh, it's quiet and the Super Bowl ads are going. And I look at my dad. I said, did you mute it? And he was like, I don't know. I'm like, well, no one else would have muted the Super Bowl ads. I said, strike one. Don't do that again today of all days.
Except
Please
that's something I feel like you would do and then accuse him of doing just to kind of stir the family pot.
Oh, totally. But actually, I didn't.
You actually didn't? Okay.
And then it happened again. And I was like, Dad, stop muting. And he's like, I don't think I did that. And I was like, I think you did. No one else here would do that.
Interesting.
And then I said, 2 strikes. And I actually just said, your remote privileges are revoked.
Take it away.
Anyway, besides that, it was smooth sailing. I was getting a little antsy watching it.
Yeah, because it was so long.
Yes, because eventually I was like, okay, score, get a goal, whatever. And then, we're tied. Overtime.
Oh, here we go.
You know, I was already kind of getting... I don't have the attention span for that.
Oh, yeah, I don't either.
I watched it all, but...
I didn't even watch it all. So, as you know already, because you were... So... It was Super Bowl Sunday. There I was. I worked. Ooh, okay. I have a story that I need to share about work, which I can get to in a minute because that's going to really derail this conversation.
Sure, just park it.
So park it. Tessa, don't let me forget.
Okay.
I'm like at home. Jacob and I just ate dinner, and then we're like, wait a minute. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Is the Super Bowl on? Because we are not big sports people. Obviously.
Was that when I texted you?
I think we started watching it right before you texted. So it was like kind of like telepathy between us because we're like, oh, let's just find out if we can stream it while we're eating dinner. And we couldn't stream it. So then we just went on TikTok and we found someone doing a TikTok live stream of it. But it was like stitched with also like a live game of Fortnite. So not only was it like the referees and like the football guys yelling and, you know, slapping each other's asses. It was like intense sound of like machine guns and like shooting these like animated characters. And my brain was like, I couldn't focus on one thing or the other.
I wonder why. That's so weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, somebody's probably watched because it had like at least 30,000 people were watching this live. And I'm like, this is so intense. And then I'm like, our attention spans are just like so ass that we have to have like 2 intense streams going on at the same time just to like pay attention. It did make me feel like I needed to scratch all of the skin cells off my body and then cut out the tags of all my t-shirts and clothes.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, so we're watching it. You text me and then you're like, yo, you watching the S Bowl? And I've never felt more loved than to receive a text about the S Bowl from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then
just wanted to check in.
Yeah, I love when my girl checks in on me and because she knows how much I love sports.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, do you want me to send you live updates? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm watching it, but I would love live updates. So anytime Taylor Swift was on the screen, Tessa would tell me. And then luckily, I feel like actually the life hack was that we only watched the last 15 minutes of the game.
That's literally all you needed.
And it was so entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I saved hours of my own time. Got to see my girl T-Swizz. I can't remember where I was going with this. Oh, okay. So did you watch like after the Super Bowl when they're all celebrating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just take a minute to dive into that. So one thing you pointed out to me, you're going to say it because Tessa was texting me about this. And I was like, Tessa, you're so like, just like, I love the way you see the world. Is kind of the vibe I had. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I just pointed out that the 49ers, they would just pan to like all of them looking the most depressed anyone's ever looked, just like sitting with their heads slumped down, and all the confetti is just like raining over them.
And I thought
at that point there's nothing worse than being so depressed, losing a big game, and then just being swarmed with confetti. I think it's super funny.
Oh, it's horrible. It's like you have these grown ass men who just like lost like everything that they've been working towards, and not only do they have to watch the other team go AWOL and everyone in the like, imagine how loud it is in there with all the people cheering the Chiefs on. Not only that, they can't leave and just walk back to the locker room. They are forced to sit there and watch this all happen. And then while it's happening, like 8,000 pounds of confetti from the other team's colors is falling on your head.
Yeah, it's a real sit there and think about what you've done situation.
Yeah, it's torture. You know? That's probably like worse than being in like a prison camp. I'm not going to say that, actually.
Right.
But it's just an alleged, theory.
It feels like if you're at like a jump for joy, like indoor jumping playground with all your friends, and you
just found out that your parents both died.
Oh, okay, yeah. Or I was gonna say, sure. Or I was gonna say like you get in trouble and your mom makes you sit out and watch all your friends have fun, and you have to just sit there.
And then they dump confetti on you.
There's 40,000 pounds of confetti in the jump. Castle, has that ever happened to you?
Yes. It's reminding me.
That'd be sad.
Well, I also want to say that. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
This isn't an original thought. Okay, I'm gonna give full credit to Hannah Berner's podcast. I don't know if you saw this, but her and I don't listen to their podcast release, so I don't know if the girl that was on it with her is like another host or her friend or whatever. But they were talking about. I just saw a clip of it on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh, like." If Taylor Swift, like, shoved one of her managers and then, like, finished a concert and was screaming, "Viva Las Vegas!" into the microphone, like, she would be checked into an institution.
Yeah.
But Travis Kelce does it, and everyone's like, Mans was just excited about the game.
He just had his head in the game.
He was just, like, feeling passionate. That's why he shoved him. There should be forgiveness, whatever. And it's like, everyone's going to forget about it. But if, like, a girl specifically Tay-Tay did that, it would be, like, game over for her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was pretty, like, I think that was one of the live updates. I texted you, was like, oh, Travis is not being a very good sport right now, because I just saw that. And then I've seen a bunch of comments about it, and like him talking about it and the coach talking about it, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. That wasn't cool, but also at the time I was like, ooh, this is gonna blow up. And then even the coach is like, I literally, like, he didn't shove me. I just kind of lost my footing, and he's like, he's always like that, and he apologized after, and he was like kind of laughing about it. He's like, oh, he keeps me young. He's just passionate about the game. And I was like, yeah. I mean, also you could just be like a decent person, but
maybe
the coach is nice.
An abusive relationship, it's like, oh, he always does this, like, so it's okay.
He cares about me though.
He always does this, and then but he apologizes after, and we laugh about it. I'm like,
he gives me
that
flowers
sounds
though.
Wrong. Yeah. That's kind of what it was giving. But you know,
that's on them.
And also, I've just been loving the commentary about Taylor Swift and also Ice Spice. So the TikTok people are saying that Ice Spice is actually a demon. Have you seen this?
Oh, no.
So, which I will say,
I've seen that.
I'm not one to dive deep into conspiracy theories, but when you like make a TikTok about it and then you put creepy music over it, like I'll probably believe most of the things that you're saying.
Compelling, yeah.
And during the game, like when the camera's on her, first of all, she has an upside down cross necklace on, sus. Second of all, she, I guess, threw up some like demonic hand signal. I don't know what demonic hand signals look like, so I don't really know.
Yeah, that's not something I'm well versed in.
I'm not, and I choose to like keep it that way.
There was an ASL class and a demonic hand signals class at community college. I didn't take either one of them. So it's
so we're
hard
just
for me to know.
Out of the loop on that one. So is Ice Spice a demon? I don't know.
Please weigh in.
And let us know. Ice Spice, are you okay? Should we be concerned?
Yeah, if you are listening, Ice Spice, can you weigh in and let us know?
Thank you, Ice Spice. And then next is all the memes about, it's like Taylor Swift switching seats at the Super Bowl, and it shows her like taking off in like a spacecraft and then back down because
funny.
she's getting all this beef for taking a short jet flight. And
yeah,
then
even that
like,
one that's like would be a 30-minute drive. Wasn't that one of them? Damn.
So you all know I'm a diehard Swiftie. I can't. It's like, obviously I don't think that's ethical. Like, anybody with half a brain cell doesn't think it's ethical. But I made a TikTok about this. Like, do you really think that billionaires like give a shit about the universe and like our planet? Because like, if they did, they wouldn't be billionaires. So I don't know why people are like so shocked about it.
True.
Like, if I was a billionaire, I would probably be the most out. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying, realistically, if I was a billionaire, I am wiping my asshole with $100 bills. I am literally taking my private jet anywhere because I have no grasp on reality. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's my normal. Not excusing it. I'm just like, how are you so surprised that this is what billionaires do?
I also love that it's only coming to light. People are just thinking about it at the Super Bowl.
I know.
Like, people are obviously upset that she's there and she's getting screen time, which is funny because they're always showing clips of celebrities. Like,
yeah,
if there's celebrities in a box, they're showing them. Like,
every time. Every game.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. We don't have to be mad about seeing her on screen. But I do think it's funny that they're like, let's actually make this an ethical issue. And let's think about how much. I'm like, she's been touring
the whole entire world.
365 days a year for 400 years, it seems like, right?
Right. So
she's been having 16 concerts a day, 365 days a year. Right. 400 years. Do the math. That's a lot of flights.
So then everyone's getting worked up about a 15-minute flight, and it's like,
yeah.
What about all of those flights?
Right.
And also, haters gonna hate.
You got to shake it off.
She wrote that song for a reason.
Yeah. Taylor, if you're listening, which I think you are, girlfriend,
please sponsor
shake
us.
It off.
Shake it off, baby girl. And I just think it's funny, like, the discourse of people getting so worked up on both sides of it, because, like, there will be a video of like some teenage or young adult woman just being like Taylor Swift has the right to like, I'm like, first of all, like, she does not need you helping her. Yeah. And then you have all these people that hate her with such a strong passion. And I'm just thinking, like, the more that everybody is talking about this, it's like, probably first of all, publicity stunt to begin with, like, to keep her and Travis Kelce at the forefront of the papers. It's even like the Kardashians, like, they will Kris Jenner will like choreograph crazy shit in their family so that they are always at the top of the news cycle. So then when Taylor Swift does something like this, and she never addresses it ever, like, she's just living her own life, having a good time at the football game, you have everybody on both sides just like going so hard. And it's like, you're literally just giving them more money. And, like, even if you hate them, like, I almost feel like talking about it makes it just...
All press is good press.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
And she's not even trying to make a scene about anything. She's just, like, she's dating this guy who's in the Super Bowl. Obviously, she's going to show up.
Yeah.
And she's not even, like, commenting on things that are upsetting people. She's, like, just there. So... Yeah. I'm not even a Swiftie, and I'm just, like, everyone needs...
chill it a little bit.
I wasn't offended.
Yeah. Although I will say she is suing like somebody who leaked this information, because it's like already public. I will say that is pretty mess. Like, you don't need to sue anyone.
Wasn't he like tracking her?
Yeah, but that's like public information. Right. So I guess like anybody could just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just choose.
Nobody's perfect.
And you gotta work it
again and again so I get it right.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Okay. On the topic of the Super Bowl.
Real
go
quick.
ahead. Yeah.
I saw somebody, a minnow sent me a selfie of David Henry and Taylor Swift together at the Super Bowl. And I'm like, tell me that isn't anchovies coded. Tell me that isn't
you listen to Anchoevies without telling me you listen to Anchoevies.
Yeah. And then
at David Henry.
I actually saw David Henry's iPhone like in the background of the photo, and it was on Spotify, and our podcast was streaming in the background.
No way. That's crazy. Yeah. Again?
Yeah.
He's always listening.
I know. He loves us.
Hey, David.
He can't stay away. We love you, Davey. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. The music at the Super Bowl.
Halftime show?
Thoughts. Yeah, there were a couple of, Post Malone. Did you watch that?
I saw clips of it. I only saw the last 15 minutes, so I had to go back and look it up afterwards.
I thought he did great. I was confused when I looked up last week. I feel like we did this on the pod. I can't remember. We were like, who's performing? And I was like, oh my gosh, Usher, Reba, and Post Malone. What a crazy mashup that's going to be.
Yeah, I thought it fully. I was expecting when I looked up the Super Bowl halftime show, it was going to be a mashup of those three, and I was genuinely excited about it.
I was like, wow. I mean, I guess music is music and really connects people together. Like, those are three people who I wouldn't put together. Turns out, Reba did the national anthem. Posty did the other America song that I'm blanking right now. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He's a likable guy.
Yeah, he is. And he looks great. He's also been on his Pilates bullshit, and he's lost a ton of weight. And he was like on his Instagram a while ago, hey guys, I'm not doing hard drugs, just started working out and drinking less beer. I'm like, okay, Posty, way to take care of yourself.
We love him. And then Usher.
Right.
Shall we debrief this?
I think that as very renowned podcast hosts, it's like only like what we have to
give
do
the people
today.
what they want. Yeah.
Okay, Usher, let's talk. Let's chat. I don't want to be a hater, okay?
Haters
Usher,
gonna hate.
probably almost 50 years old, okay? So anybody in that age group who is willing to get up there and work it like that, kudos. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Also, so many bangers of the past, great. But I will say, I think it should be mandated that if you are a middle-aged person being recruited for the halftime show, you need to go through a year of intense cardio and strengthening, because Mans was out of breath, in my opinion, like very quickly. And also, I mean, I would be covered in sweat too. Maybe they oiled him up, but there were like parts of it where like he wasn't even singing. He'd be like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you're catching your breath back there.
Yeah,
I
he was
see
glistening. Don't blame him. He was doing the most.
He was doing the most. Nobody asked him to do all of that.
Usher, you didn't have to do that if you're listening.
Yeah, you could have done a little less, but he did at least sing in his real voice, which a lot of people don't do at the Super Bowl. So I major kudos to that. It's probably why he was like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
So I'm singing not singing the whole time.
Right.
You know, I was just really hoping it was going to be Reba, Posty, and Usher all together. That I think would have been the solution.
I think, yeah, we had a better idea than whoever put together the Mr. Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was a little confused. I was a little thrown off that we got into Turn Down for What in 2024.
I was kind of here for it because it's our song.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
It's just, I feel like Mr. Super Bowl, whoever he is a good decade or so behind
what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we're not going to put up a new up-and-coming person with, like, songs that came out this year. I get that. But it just felt very, like,
it did feel kind of random. Yeah, because, again, no disrespect-y to Ushy.
Never.
Ever. But I'm like, I don't know the last time that I was like, me or anyone I'm around, it's been like, oh, like, let's play an Usher song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's got the hits, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. My aunt said, this is for the millennial moms. Like, she was loving it.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't for us. It can't all be for us.
And that's
okay. We're totally fine with that.
We're okay with that.
I do have to say that I would have been okay if we didn't pursue the rollerblading route. I didn't think we had to do that.
I'm just impressed that, like, that's a big risk. Like, you are already at risk doing the halftime show because it's so choreographed. You don't want to miss a beat. Putting yourself on rollerblades? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know we were at Sonic.
I know. I kind of wish would have been more impressive if they had, like, trays of tots and slushies, half-price slushies.
It would have been way more impressive if they had jalapeno poppers and cherry limeades with the little peppermints on top flying around. But that's just me.
Right.
I will say, to back it up about Post Malone, because I only saw like half of his singing. I was kind of laughing internally when I was watching it because I'm thinking like, this is for us, like our age group. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking of like people like your dad's age being like, who is this guy? And why is he singing like a goat? Like,
I will say, yeah.
Because he kind of does that.
Yeah.
And he really turned it up for the song that he sang. Mm-hmm. Was it America the Beautiful? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Right. And so I was just laughing because I'm like, there's no way that people over the age of 50 are like getting down to this right now.
And there's a very select group of people over the age of 50 that were happy with even one of three of those performers. Mm-hmm. I will say my dad was not happy with any of the three. He's a Reba hater.
But she's a single mom and works 2 jobs.
I know. She loves her kids and never stops.
She's a survivor.
Of course. I'm not a fan of her, I would say. I mean...
You didn't watch the Reba show growing up?
No.
Oh, me neither. Totally. Nope.
She did a good job. Obviously, she has a good voice. I'm not crazy about it, but she didn't like...
I think if your dad says, like, he isn't happy, then we have every right to say we're not happy.
Right.
Tessa's dad is like a music, what do you call him?
Guru.
That's
an
his
official
esteemed
title. Audio
professor
engineer
of the groove, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he like makes music for his job. So, you know what I would like to see at a Super Bowl halftime show?
Wow.
Is just a full-on divorced dad rock set.
Yeah.
I'm talking like a mashup of all of those songs that your divorced dad would play in the car when you were 8 years old.
Like Daughtry and stuff?
Daughtry, Nickelback, or actually alternate route, similar vibe, is like Blink-182, mm-hmm. that whole era of music, kind of like almost emo, like
pop punk, yeah.
Pop punk. I think that would actually be really sick.
That would be sick.
I would like to see that next year. I'm putting in my vote. Where do I put my vote? I heard it's in
Mr.
election
Super Bowl,
year.
if you're listening to this today, that's our official ballot is in.
Yeah, we want Blink-182 and the like anything similar to that. All American Rejects.
My Chemical Romance.
Oh my gosh, Fall Out Boy, but like old Fall Out Boy.
Maybe Green Day.
Oh, I would.
Actually, they could just headline.
I would simp for Green Day for sure. I was so obsessed with them when I was
We're like, it's not really current right now. The halftime performers are not really current. We're like, what about Green Day?
We're like, Usher, give me some like little white boy screaming about how emo he feels right now.
Oh, I would love it.
I would totally love that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, that was fine. I'm proud of us for watching. I mean...
Yeah.
I think I watched a lot more than you but
did.
You still were able to comment on this, so thank you for that.
I watched just enough.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing that I thought of while watching the Super Bowl that I think is like, I think this might be the greatest disconnect between men and women and most unfair thing about what we're capable of doing is that men have the ability to have naturally deep voices and we don't have that, and that's something that we can never probably have. And I just think, like, I was just watching Travis Kelce saying Viva Las Vegas. Like, he has so much power coming out of his boombox right now.
Yeah.
And that's something I can never do.
I was kind of wondering. I was trying to follow this track, like, trying to see where the end zone was, if you will.
Right.
Now I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And that is hard for us.
I think that if I had that kind of deep vibrato, I could really like make some world changes,
shake some mountains up.
I could be a much bigger ground shaker and move maker if I could.
Do you think you'd ever shut up if you could just do that all the time, or do you think that you'd be yelling in that deep voice?
I think I would make it my whole voice and personality. But
thanks for sharing that. I haven't thought about it like that, but I would feel more powerful if I could do that.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of going to Costco the day before the Super Bowl on accident.
Oh no!
Just because I was like, oh, let me like shop and meal prep before Sunday because I'll be at my parents' house all day Sunday. I went and I was like, why can't I find a parking spot? And why aren't there 0 carts? That led me to
why there's so many footballs all over the place, jerseys, field goals.
Why are there no tortilla chips left at Costco? Like everyone had the same idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, that made me think about how during COVID times they had a max occupancy limit in grocery stores, and they would cap it. Bring it back, please. I know we're not in a pandemic anymore, but nothing would make me happier than being like, 100 people are allowed in Costco. You guys wait outside until 2 people come out, and then you can go in. Like,
I support that.
There's too many people everywhere if I can't comfortably shop.
But Costco's always like that. I guess maybe COVID was the only time that it wasn't like that.
And it was a beautiful time.
And,
like, it was annoying.
You had those people like on Facebook being like, Costco, you've lost my business. wait to enjoy my business. Now you're gonna sink down.
You didn't let me buy 16 packs of 432 toilet paper rolls. You've lost my business. I'm an American and I will not be back to Costco.
Yeah, this is a free country, not Hitler Nazi nation. So therefore, Costco, I'm gonna burn you to the ground by no longer shopping there.
I won't be wearing a mask and I won't be keeping 6 feet.
I'm wondering if the people that were saying those things are back at Costco, and also
absolutely,
I'm wondering if any Costco's suffered from that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but
I just would like to see that brought back. I don't know. I think it'd be a beautiful thing if we could just have a max limit in grocery stores. Maybe it's just because I hate grocery shopping so much.
This is the life hack. Don't go on a Sunday. It's literally the worst day to ever shop, no matter if there's a holiday or what.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go in the late hours of the night, there's no line. Nobody wants to grocery shop at night. You have the whole store to yourself. I went to Winco the other day at like 8 p.m. for my grocery shopping, and I was like, this is blissful. Yeah. Winco, on like the first of the month when everyone gets paid or gets like their food whatever, it is crazy in there. It is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, oh, I just got paid, here I go. No, terrible idea. Right. Or Costco on a rainy day. Nobody wants to go to Costco when it's like pouring.
That's true.
It's a good day to go to.
Yeah, true. I learned my lesson. I'll think about when I go to Costco more thoroughly, but that's my hot take anyway.
I support that. I second that.
Yeah. How was your week? I kind of just blasted right into the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh. I'm okay with that. I think it was more interesting than what I did this week. Let's see. I was supposed to have jury duty. Got canceled.
As soon as I ask you about your week, lady. It's okay. Lady's growling.
Lady is like upset if there's anybody walking near her house.
How dare they? Yeah, I get it.
Hey, lady, she's like a grumpy elderly woman.
Jury duty. I feel like every single person I know who's gotten summoned for jury duty, it never ends up, like, it always gets canceled. I don't think jury duty is real. I don't think people are actually going and having jury duty and sitting for a complete trial.
That's a good point. I don't know anybody personally who has fulfilled their jury duty summon. It always gets canceled. So
yeah, this seems like something fishy's going on. Mr. Jury Duty, if you're listening, please comment and
let us
tell
know.
us what's actually going on. Why are we getting
we're not
summoned?
gonna look it up.
Yeah.
You know us.
No, we're not.
We don't like to research.
If any minnows have actually been summoned for jury duty, you've showed up and they've picked you and you've stayed for the entire trial and it hasn't been canceled.
Made it to the end.
Good for you, I guess.
You know what?
Maybe let us know, but I don't think it's real.
On Spotify, you can do a poll of, you can just like say, have you done jury duty? Yes or no. I'm going to put that on this episode. Let us know. That way you don't have to do anything that requires effort. You can just click a button.
Yeah, because we know we wouldn't.
Yeah.
I've gotten summoned and then it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone I know who like takes time off work is always like, actually, I'm good. I didn't have to.
So dumb. Well, I got it, and then I put that my father-in-law is a police officer, and then I also reported some of my family's crimes because it's like, oh, has anyone in your family ever done anything naughty? I'm like, well, okay, let's take a stroll down memory lane. Look up the felonies in my family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been my ticket out.
Yeah,
and I also wrote
nice.
like some really offensive things in my questionnaire because if you say that, they can't pick you.
Yeah.
Someone told me this is really terrible. They were like, if you just get a shirt that says something like wildly offensive and then you show up, then they're never gonna pick you. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get a shirt that says I hate insert like any people group, and they were like, maybe you shouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, it's actually probably something I would never do. Yeah. But if it means getting out of jury duty, I think that anybody could respect that.
Yeah. I think jury duty should pay like $1,000 a day instead of $15 a day. If it's real. Sure.
If jury duty's real, I don't know how like I was supposed to like pay my rent. Having 5 days off of work, getting $15 a day. I'm like,
yeah,
that's interesting, but whatever. So
yeah,
I'm glad I didn't have to go.
I think they give you a sandwich though every day, if that helps.
When I was looking into it, like by the requirements of the law, like the things I had to like fill out, it said like we'll give you an hour lunch break, and it said something like if it goes super long or something, we will provide lunch from Caruso's. And I was like, okay. Caruso's did give me diarrhea the last time I had it, but if it's free, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, amen.
I'll suffer through the Riri again, because then I'll be skinny. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyways.
Anything else notable you did this week or didn't do? Because jury duty you didn't really do.
Oh yeah, we're still talking about my my week. Let's see. My week was pretty sus, pretty lame. Not sus at all, actually. I made a new, like, this is the most exciting thing for me right now, is that I made a new chore list for myself.
Ooh.
To make sure I get things done on time. It's obviously going really well. One of my chores is editing the podcast for on time. And that's the one thing I didn't finish all the way. I have like 10 minutes left on the last episode. But it will be out by the time this one goes out.
Nice.
So there's that. And that way I can just not be such a busybody all the time. Always feeling like I have stuff to do. I'm like, oh, if I know I'm going to do it on this day of the week, I can chill.
Yeah.
And I washed my sheets. That was a big accomplishment for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I've been working out a lot too. You know, summer's right around the corner. And that's been my new personality right now, is being in my jock era.
Nice.
Really nothing much more exciting than that. Oh, I started listening to a book on Spotify. That's really good and really freaking sad. Highly recommend. Crying in H Mart. It's a tough read, but it's really good. Oh, and I started, I don't know that this would be up your alley, but I would encourage you to do it. It's called...
What is it?
It's called The Artist's Way.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
So I bought it 2 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to make this my new personality. I stuck to it for 2 days, and then I never used it again. And
Sounds
I know that...
like me with everything.
Yeah. I know that because I dated it when I started this workbook, and it's basically like a workbook for the artist in you. And it sounds really corny, because it is kind of corny, but in a beautiful way. Lady, get over here. She looks so guilty, too. Come on. It's okay. Come here, baby. She looks like I just scolded her. Hey. Anyways, so basically the premise of the book is saying, actually, this I think would be really good for you, Jacob, Cody, and Drew. I was like, you got to get the band to do this.
Okay.
It's basically a book that is like talking about how from a young age, most people want to squash our artistic sides, our creative sides, because, you know, it makes the more sensible thing is to stick to, you know, picking a traditional career path. And like when we're kids, our parents are never like, oh, just like try this and see what happens. It's usually like, no, don't do that. Do your homework. Yeah. It's a little woo-woo though. This girl's kind of like a little bit wacky. So it's all about basically like unblocking your artist within. And it's every morning you do 3 pages of just like brain spill. So like the second you wake up, you just write 3 pages. And I have a small notebook. I wouldn't do this with like a, you know, large piece of paper. It sounds like exhausting.
Right.
And so you do 3 pages, and it could be anything. Like literally you just like thinking about your groceries or whatever it is you have on your mind when you wake up, even if you're just staring at the wall. And So you do 3 pages every morning, and then every week you take yourself on an artist date. So it's like one thing that you do completely by yourself. Nobody's allowed to join you on this. Something that gets your creative juices flowing. So it could be like, for you, Tessa, I want to take myself bowling. Just go hang out at the bowling alley for an hour.
Check.
Or I want to go line dancing, or I want to go see a movie. It could be literally whatever you just feel like doing, not out of obligation, just out of like genuine like interest.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like a workbook that you go through. But I think it'd be cool if you and the band did it. Jacob was like, I'm not doing that, but I think if we could band together and get you guys all on board, it would be really sick.
Okay, I'm down.
She's acting as though our neighbor's house is getting broken into, and they're just genuinely like walking.
Lady just cares too much. It's kind of like how we volunteer too much.
Yeah, she plays too much.
She cares too much about the neighborhood.
She's kind of the neighborhood watchdog.
Neighborhood, yeah. She's kind of the HOA.
She
that
is.
You wish you had
from the interior of her home, and doesn't provide any actual support.
Yeah, it's also free.
Yep.
Unlike most HOAs.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
that's cool.
So cool.
Anything else this week?
No, I feel like our motor's running out of gas here. It is very early in the morning because my work schedule. So, you know what? Normally I say, if you don't have anything to say, just keep talking and you'll find something to talk about. But today I say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
And let me tell you, we have nothing nice to say.
And we are not bullies. Wait. Real quick. Tessa has not seen The Bachelor. And I need her to speed watch all 5 episodes so that we can talk about it next week. They're only 2 hours long, so that should be pretty...
That's kind of a lot. That's a lot of time.
The new season of The Bachelor is so good.
You didn't factor all that time into your weekly hours.
I know. It's like I have less hours than I even imagined.
That's crazy. I just finished Ozark last night, which was a real big commitment. It was a great show.
Was it a good ending?
It was a crazy ending.
It was a good ending, or was it just like, are you kidding me?
It wasn't, are you kidding me? I think it was good.
Okay. Because I hate when you have like this great show, and then the last episode, they're like, just pull out the most ridiculous thing that makes no sense.
Right.
And it's like, you worked so hard on
this. It wasn't ideal, but it was not like, it didn't upset me that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now I have to watch The Bachelor. If there was a way...
It's on Hulu.
I know, but don't you have to watch with ads?
No. Pay like $3 more and there's no ads.
You think I'm rich?
Obviously, yeah. You work like full time. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, how do I have the hours in the day?
Yeah. Well, watch The Bachelor. I have been covering a lot of this on my TikTok. You're not going to understand any of this. I just need to tell the minnows. Sydney, Leia, and Jess, I'm convinced, are in love with Maria because they can't get her effing name out of their effing mouths. Where do they talk about Joey? They don't. They talk about Maria because they're in love with her. And they're jealous of her confidence. Period.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. I mean, that wouldn't make sense unless you watch it. But you'll see what I mean. It's so good, dude. You have to watch it. I'm like giddy just thinking about the new episode coming out on Monday. Okay. And Joey, the main guy, he's like the most beautiful man, but he has absolutely no personality.
Really? I thought people love him.
We love him because he has... I mean, he probably does have a little more than what they show. You know, They only show bits and pieces, but he's getting so much crap because there's like this clip going around on the internet when they get to Malta. He's walking around like the old streets and he goes, yeah, this is a beautiful city. It has an old school vibe to it. And it's like when Joey says a city built in 5900 BC has an old school vibe to it. And then this other guy on TikTok was like, what do you want from this man? He's the Bachelor. He's not like a rocket scientist. Like, This is the perfect candidate. I was like, he has a point. Like, and then somebody was commenting like, yeah, I would hope that if he was like solving like or figuring out the cure to cancer, he didn't take time off his job to go be the Bachelor. So this is the perfect kind of guy to be on it. He is beautiful. He's perfect. But every time a girl like opens up, he says the same exact thing, and it's so funny because I'll be like, oh my gosh, like my mom died, and it's like this really heartbreaking story, and
Classic.
every time he goes, that must have been really hard for you, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. And then he like kisses them, and then it'll be another girl, my dog died when I was 7, and then my parents divorced, and you know, I had a stepdad, and he was mean to me, and he's like, wow, that must have been a lot for you. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. And it's like the same, so I'm just waiting like for them to watch back.
Yeah.
I would be like, but Jacob had a point. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Jacob had a point. It's like, there's not much more to say than that. If you're like getting this information from 30 women at once.
That's so true.
There's only so many responses you can have that are like caring and respectful. And he does seem genuine, but also just the concept of it, because I haven't watched The Bachelor since I was like genuinely 10 years old with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm almost 25 and like have almost a fully developed brain, like the idea of this show is so crazy, and we're just used to it because we've seen it for years.
Right.
Watching it is genuinely bonkers. Like, it takes the same amount of strategy as Big Brother or Survivor, but instead 30 women versus one guy. Because I'm telling Jacob, in no real world scenario would this many women be so desperately throwing themselves at one singular straight white dude, like, ever.
Right.
Like, it's just crazy.
It's very true.
Like, if he was at the bar, it'd be like, you know, both people need to put an effort. Joey really doesn't have to do anything but decide between 32 women.
Also, I've always wondered this, and maybe this is something that everyone else knows except for me, because I refuse to look up anything to find an answer. I just wonder in my head. Do any of the women know who the Bachelor is going to be before they're on the show?
For this I don't know about past seasons, but for this one, yes, because Joey was on The Bachelorette a while back.
Okay.
And so a lot of them are like, when I found out it was Joey, I had to be on the show. So it's like these women out there in the universe are like, oh, we've seen Joey on TV, we want him.
Yeah.
And so they're going on. A lot of them said, I only got on the show because I knew it was you.
Okay, because I've always wondered, like, if they're just applying to be, they're like, oh, I'm single, I want to be on The Bachelor, whatever. And then, like, if I showed up and I was like, oh, I'm not interested in him. But they all have to, like, pretend like they're fighting for him.
Right.
But it sounds like they're interested
not
before
pretend it's fully real.
Totally, yeah. Like all reality TV.
Right. So anyways, that's my discourse on that. Please watch it before next week so we can catch up.
And you said that'd be 10 hours worth before next week?
5 to 10, yeah. They're varying in length, I think.
Okay.
So.
Right. I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Well,
Should we close in song?
Yeah.
We actually wrote a song for...
Yeah, today we wrote something for you guys. It's really, really near and dear to us. And it goes a little bit like this. Minnows, swimming through the sea of podcast. And you found us? Sounds like a coincidence. Wait. No, it sounds like fate. Fate is for you and me to be reunited with your two favorite hosts, Tessa and Henry, and your co-host, Lady protecting the street of the neighborhood. And we thank you for your love and support. And like and subscribe. And comment. We love you. And thank you. Hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful week.
That will drop pretty soon here.
Yep, it'll be out.
And ears peeled.
Yep, it'll be out on Thursday. This episode, if it's out on Thursday, you know it's been real.
Longest outro ever. Bye.
Bye.